Welcome, the Imperial Court of Toronto's half show here online.
ICP 34 Okimawiyu Kevin. It is with great pleasure that I am doing the land acknowledgement for tonight. We, the Imperial Court of Toronto, acknowledge that we are on the traditional territories of the many nations, including the Mississauga of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people, and is now home to the many diverse First Nation, Inuit, and Métis people. We need to honor and thank the Huron-Wendat Nation, Métis Nation of Ontario and Canada, Mississauga of the Credit, New Credit First Nation, Mississauga of the Saugatuck Island First Nation, and Six Nations of the Grand River, as our community partner and traditional inhabitants of this land of the City of Toronto, region of Hamilton, Durham region, and surrounding areas. We do this land acknowledgement to honor the inhabitants that have come before us, the First Nation inhabitants that are here now, and the future First Nation people of the future. We take a time to reflect on Mother Earth and that she has given us. From the waters, the trees, the animals, our First Nations communities have taken care of and are wardens of our land. We need to take and help these communities, protect it, look after it, and do all that we can do. The land acknowledgement recognizes that we have many different backgrounds, and we come from many different areas. To the immigrants who have come many years ago or just yesterday, we are all the treaties that have been set and the treaties that we have agreed to and work with. In Toronto, the dish with one spoon is a very important one. It is one that recognizes that we all work together. If we all share our knowledge, our wealth, and our experiences, we can do so many things. We can take care of so much with each other and take care of each other. So at this time, thank you again for joining us on the Halves presentation fundraising show for the Imperial Court of Toronto. I ask you, just like the land acknowledgement of that, how you can be part of and how you can reflect on. Share your knowledge, share your wealth, share your understanding. Reflect on the area that you come and be thankful and take care of each other and take care of this land.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first live stream of Reign 35. I am Emperor 35, David Valois.
And I'm Empress 35, Rachelle Valois.
And we welcome you to tonight's events. And I want to thank Okimabio Kevin for doing the land acknowledgement. It's important for us to acknowledge the lands that we are on. I would like to invite all of you and welcome you to our live stream tonight. Thank you very much for joining. We've got a lot of great guests as we go through introducing the halves for Reign 35.
So I thought you were going to be speaking because this is all your part. So I'd like to thank the first line workers, the people who work in the hospitals, health clinics, dental offices that have worked out through the pandemic. It's not over yet, so please wash your hands, keep everyone safe, wear your mask when you're in public, when you don't need to, when you're not, whatever, wear your mask. Wear your mask, get vaccinated, get your booster, do your job, and we can eventually get back to some form of normalcy and get back to living our lives. I know we're both looking forward to traveling the ICS this year and definitely getting out to some of the American courts. Now that our government has recently changed the testing rules, it'll make it easier for us to visit. So keep posted, and we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So, are you going to do a performance for us?
I am.
Okay, so why don't you get yourself ready?
Okay.
And I will do the introduction once you're there. Perfect. Okay. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Her Most Imperial Sovereign Majesty, Empress 35 of Toronto, Rachelle Valois.
You didn't listen to my instructions.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure love. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong. Oh, matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Ooh, oh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I'm weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. Taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You'll have every failure, God. You'll have every victory. Ooh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, oh, you say I'm yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe, oh, I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe.
Well, I hope you love that number. Let's bring back my lovely husband, Emperor 35, and David Valois.
There we go.
Bonjour. Bisous.
Bisous. Great performance.
Well, thank you.
For those that cannot see, obviously you cannot see below the camera. He even had his feet. Oh, she even had her feet. So the full body performance, not just the upper part of the body, but a full body performance was amazing.
I was sitting, but thank you.
Okay.
All right, let's get this show started.
Yeah, let's start bringing in our first guests. Before we do that, though, just so everybody, this is the first live stream for Reign 35. We are raising money for our charities this year. Our charities are PWA Food Program, the People with AIDS Foundation Food Program, and the Rainbow Railroad. I have to say that slowly, but because I do get a bit of a tongue twist on that. Two great charities locally here in Toronto, and charities for the LGBTQ community that we believe very strongly in. So we are raising for those two charities. If you want to donate, please, if you're in Canada, e-transfer to treasure@ticot.ca. If you are elsewhere in the world, you can always send it to us via PayPal. You can find that link on our website, www.ticot.com. Okay, so let's get started. Do you want to introduce the first guest?
Definitely. So the first two guests are my halves. So the first, and this is a mouthful, the first guest I'm bringing, I'm going to bring them both on at the same time. So please welcome our American South Half Empress, Serena I of the Americas, heir apparent to first in line of succession, the Queen Mother of all Americas, Nicole the Great, Empress 21 and 28 of Kentucky, Nicole the Good. There we go, and it's coming in.
Okay.
All right. While
there-
they're queuing in, oh, there they are.
And the second one?
And our second is my Canadian West Half Empress, Michaela Quinn, 35 of the Imperial Sovereign Court of the Chinook Arch. Welcome, ladies.
Welcome.
Hello.
Oh, so let me just make sure we can hear each one of you. Nicole, can you just say hello?
Hello. Can you hear me?
And Michaela?
Hello.
Okay, perfect. Good. Sometimes when people speak at the same time, the system sort of cancels out the sound. So I just wanted to make sure that we're there. So welcome to the live stream. I see you're coming to us from your humble abodes. We are sitting in our winter cottage here in the in the backwoods of Canada. So welcome to the show tonight.
To our first line stream of Rain 35. Yay!
Exactly.
Yay.
You've redecorated since I was there in October.
Little
Fresh coat of
building of the lily.
Just a little paint, right?
Just a little.
It's amazing
Little
what
paint.
paint can do. Exactly.
Exactly.
So, well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Rachelle, as you introduce your halves, just talk a little bit about how you picked the halves in the compass.
Definitely. So when I was thinking of my halves, traditionally you have one American and one Canadian, and I made so many close bonds across the ICS, and I just didn't want to be stuck to two. So I decided that all of the people that I've come across in the ICS have kind of guided me in the right direction towards becoming a better member and getting more involved with the ICS. So I decided to name them all at points of the compass. So the center of my compass is my in-town half, Nikki Chin, which you'll see later this evening. The northern scope of my compass is Savannah Devereaux from Rhode Island. Now I'm getting nervous. The southern end of my compass is Nicole the Good. And then my west coast are my Canadian halves. So I have my west is Michaela Quinn, and my east is Shanaila Shanigans. Both Savannah and all your names are very close. Both Savannah and Shayla will be joining us via virtual messages, and unfortunately won't be able to be live.
Perfect. So,
And that's why I chose 5 halves.
so wonderful. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Usually when we watch your shows, certainly Nicole, we always love watching the Kentucky shows. There's always such a big production, and they were really sort of great things to watch during the COVID period.
Definitely.
So I sort of just to kickstart the conversation a little bit. I suppose I'll start with just a question. As each one of you, just to get your perspective on it. We are, as you well know, relatively new to the court system. We've been in the court system now for 5 years, of which the last 2 have been in pandemic. So we're sort of behind a computer screen, although we did attend our own coronation, the first one in person earlier this year. So, you know, as we sort of think about what it means to be a half emperor, or a half emperor and half empress through the ICS, what's the meaning of that title from your perspective?
Well, I think it's a huge honor, honestly. I've been half empress several times over my 20 years being within the court system. And when Rachelle reached out to me and asked, it was absolutely a true honor. I love my Canadian family. I love visiting Toronto. Always have a wonderful time. You guys are so hospitable, and just always have a wonderful time. And Rachelle and David, both when we met, it was such a delight getting to know you guys. And so, you know, being a half is quite an honor to be able to do that. And it's to me, when I chose my half, it's a sign of respect, I feel like. and it's someone that you know that you can lean on or get guidance from. And I hope that I can be that for you. I hope that if there's anything that you ever need, you can reach out and we can either talk on the phone or email and just work it out. And, any way I can help, definitely.
Perfect. Thank you. And Michaela?
For me, like Nicole said, it's a giant honor. I've been a handful of times in the 15 years that I've been doing it. I've been Empress for 12 years, and I've been half of Toronto. This is now my third time. It's a joy. It's, for myself anyway, I feel like I get to bring the exposure of the East to the West, because we don't always get a lot of people from Toronto, but when we do, it's awesome. And I've walked many times for Toronto in places in Texas, in Calgary, in Edmonton, all over the place, just representing you guys. And it is a riot to be able to go there, to walk as Toronto. It's just fun, in my opinion. And like Nicole said, Halves are the people you reach out to, especially when you're having a day or you're having a moment and you just need someone to vent to, and you just ring up your half and you vent away and you go, yeah, and then you're calm, you're cool, and then you continue on. I met Rachelle, I think it was the first year you did drag, and she came up to me and she goes, if I ever become Empress, you're going to be my half. And we're here.
I will say,
it's so nice watching people grow too. Michaela, I know you've seen that when you've been a half, watching an Empress from the beginning to the end and how they grow. And it's just like raising a child almost. It's like, oh, look what she's doing now, because having been an Empress and watching someone and helping someone through that process is always a delight.
It is. A couple of the people that I've been half for never needed anything from me. They've done it. They have been an Empress or they have been behind the scenes for a number of years. But the joy I get is I'm a helper. So I need help changing, I'll stay in the change room and I'll zip dresses, I'll do up shoes, I'll pin hair. If they need someone to go and, stall for 5 minutes, I'll go up there and do a little dance and do a little song, and just anything to help. That's what I love doing, is I'm the helper. So
I will say that my half empress, which we'll meet a little bit later on the show, Vu Tran from Connecticut and Robert George from the Waterfall Empire. Robert was my dresser at our coronation in October. I didn't think I needed one, but turned out I absolutely desperately did, and he was there for me, and it was just such a calming influence to have somebody that's been there, that's done that, sort of around me as the chaos unfolded. And I know, Nicole, I was watching you do the same for Rachelle. Although every time somebody asked her, "Are you nervous yet?" she eventually really started getting nervous. But just to see you being so supportive was just amazing to experience. So thank you for that at our coronation. If I'm sure Rachelle's going to call or text, or has already called or texted a few times.
It's funny. So at our step-up coronation, he had 2 dressers. I had 0.
If you want a funny 6 degrees of separation kind of thing, when I stepped down 12 years ago, I didn't have a dresser. I was very self-sufficient and whatever else. But I did have David's heir in Calgary with me, and he was the biggest support. I had a minor meltdown, as most people do on their, minuscule, minor. He sat with me while I painted it, and he basically just said, "You got this. You're going to carry on. Everything is happy." Yeah. Called Morgan, who was my half, and talked me off of a ledge, and it all worked out. So it was awesome.
Was that your step up or your step down?
Down.
Step down. Okay.
When I was a skinny young man.
Man, I thought you were a woman.
Well, when I was a twig of a woman as well. So, when I stepped down, I was a size 6. And now I'm a 14. So 12 years and 8 sizes. It happens.
I will admit I have no idea what a size 6 or a size 14 or anything like that is because but I'm assuming a 6 is small and a 14 is bigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rachelle and Nicole both know what I mean. So
We're not talking shoe size, David, not shoe.
We had a bit of a dress malfunction at Coronation. Was it the candidate performance or was it the step down performance?
My candidate number.
Candidate number. The dress shrunk in the closet. I don't know how that happens, but the zipper wouldn't close. And
Are you saying I gained weight?
no, the dress shrunk. No, the way the dress was made, there was a very tight piece of fabric that was not stretchable at all at that particular point, and the zipper just wouldn't get past it, and it just ripped out. The whole zipper came loose. So, bit of a meltdown, bit of a last-minute emergency. Fortunately, there was a one of the performers that was going to come up about 10 minutes out, in about 10 minutes, an East Indian woman that was doing a traditional dance. Happened to be in the hallway outside, and we just grabbed her and said, "Please help."
Do you have pins?
She pulled out a little bag with pins, and she just started pinning and pinning and pinning and pinning, and we got it. We got it. The emergency averted.
Yeah, it was also my fault for never trying the dress on before, so I just bought it and brought it. Lesson learned. Try them on first, girl.
Been there, done that.
Mm-hmm.
So we had another question, but you both kind of answered about have you been halves before? So I kind of have a follow-up to Michaela's statement when you said that you travel, you represent Toronto's court. Now, do you also walk as your own courts as well when you're a halve, or do you choose one or the other?
Oh, that depends. If I have there's a contingent from Calgary, I'll walk with just Toronto. If there's a smaller number, I'll walk with both.
So you would do 2 walks then, effectively, correct?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
2 walks, 2 different cities. That's my take on it.
Okay. And Nicole, is that standard operating procedure?
I have never walked as a half. That must be a Canadian tradition. I've never done that. I'm not opposed to it, but that's something I've never done. Something new to me. You're teaching me something. You're teaching this old girl something.
I wonder if it's a Canadian tradition. If there's any American emperors or empresses watching who've been a half before, can you make a comment whether it's a Canadian tradition to walk as your half the court of, or do some American courts do it as well? We'd look forward to hearing from you. While we're talking to our guests, let's say hi to a few of them. So we have Ricky Lake, Ontario, saying hello to us.
Ricky Lake, Ontario, Emperor 26 of the Imperial Court of Toronto, has also been appointed to be the headmaster of the Imperial Academy of the Court Jesters, a new academy that we formed as part of Reign 35. And those of you that are attending our investiture, we've got a bit of a surprise for you there. So enough said on that. So hi, Ricky. Great to see you.
Yeah. And hi, Drusilla. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, Lord James. Thank you for tuning in.
It's Drusilla again.
Oh, put some Vaseline on the teeth. I thought you were talking about my teeth. It's like the zipper's teeth.
That's actually a good trick, but that would not have worked.
I've heard of also people taking a candle and rubbing it on the teeth, and the wax from the candle makes it glide faster as well.
Girl, if it doesn't fit, it's not going to fit. Sorry.
There is that option as well. Sometimes it's not going to fit.
I like what Nicole is saying. Let's call a spade. If it's not going to fit, it's
Exactly. It was too small. One less cheeseburger, girl.
Cinch the cinch a little tighter.
Right.
Next time I'll break you through the ribs. And do you want to,
Don't break ribs.
don't break ribs?
Don't
Okay.
break ribs. No.
I'll have them removed. I hear that's
Not a good thing.
not done.
So next sort of question, as new emperor and empress, and one of the new emperor and empresses on the court system, only a month into it, give or take.
Yeah.
Any advice you can give us? We're particularly interested in what the kind of things that you did to make your reign successful, and how you connected with and continue to connect with your community. Let's forget about the pandemic for a minute. Let's assume that's going to be over soon. We'd really like to get some of your thoughts around how your reign was successful and how you engage with your community. So, Nicole, if you want to start.
I think the most important thing is getting in touch with your membership. This organization was started as a social organization to bring people together. And I think a lot of times we get caught up in the fundraising aspect, which is wonderful because our charities and our communities need that. But we, as a social organization, just pulling together our members and new members for social events, just a gathering at a coffee house or a bar or a picnic in the park, just something to get everyone together and just share ideas and just socialize and get to know each other. Because a lot of times during our events, we're not able to do that, especially as reigning monarchs. When you're in charge of the show, you're running around and you're trying to get everything done, and you really neglect maybe saying hi to every member or thanking them for being there. That was something that I always tried to do at the end of the night, going around and thanking people for being there and donating. But a lot of people have already left at that point. So just remember the social aspect. Especially coming out of this pandemic, we haven't had a lot of that. Mm-hmm. And people are eager to get together. So I know we're going into the winter months and it's a little colder in Toronto than it is here. But, just finding some way to be social and just reaching out, maybe you just emails or a text or a phone call to your members and just say, hey, love to see you guys at our next event, or how are you doing, or that kind of thing. I know you have a big event coming up, Michelle Dewberry's birthday party. So that's going to be exciting. Yeah. And, a great opportunity for you guys to kind of see those people that maybe weren't at coronation or not at investitures, and just introduce yourself, maybe that someone that you haven't seen, or get new members and that kind of thing.
Perfect. There's before we go to you, Michaela, I want to just quickly touch on the point that you made, Nicole. So firstly, yes, Michelle Dewberry, 90 years old on Tuesday. So Tuesday evening at Flash. Yeah. Flash on Church Street is the birthday party for Michelle. You have to, however, for those who are watching and want to go, you have to let the venue know that you're coming because of the restrictions in terms of the size of the audience that can be in the venue. So thank you for that call out, and Nicole. The other point you made, and I think just to want to emphasize it from our perspective as well, we tend to overemphasize the donation and the fundraising and the money aspects of the organization and tend to forget about the social aspect. So I hear you. I think it's a critical point. And the other point you made was phone calls. I don't think we actually call our members anymore. It's all just Facebook and et cetera. And I don't think all our members actually use Facebook or are as familiar with technology as some of us are. So good point there. Thank you for that.
Sure.
Michaela?
So what I do is everything for me is around fun. I love to have fun. I love to make fun of myself, ironically. One of the things that we did during my year was we had a lot of events that revolved around water. So we had an H2O drag show, which is where people buy water balloons and buckets of water and then throw it at the drag queens while they're performing. It sounds absolutely horrible, but it's actually a lot of fun. Rachelle has seen a couple clips of me playing dodgeball with water balloons flying at me. Another thing we did was a dunk tank, a drag queen dunk tank. and that as well raised a lot of money. For us, it was think outside the box. We had a lot of repeat events up until I was Empress, and everything was do a show, raise some money, sell some shots, and my Emperor and I wanted to just get outside of that box a little bit. So when we had the gay rodeo, we had the dunk tank, and that was a massive draw. People stopped watching the rodeo to come throw balloons and dunk a drag queen. Then that July, we did the H2O drag show. And again, these are just events that, you know, I thought it'll be fun no matter what. If there's 3 people there, there's 3 people there, and we have fun. But lo and behold, the bar was at capacity, and people were paying money hand over fist to throw water balloons and buckets of water at drag queens, to the point where the bar actually requested us to do another one the next month.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So we have a lot of great members that are very active. We have a World AIDS Day event that brings in about $20,000 a year, and it's a silent auction plus a show. And there's no drive to, you know, watch the show or come spend money on everything else. It's the gathering, it's the interaction, it's the bring people together. And I mean, there are people that come from Edmonton, Regina, just for the event. A couple years ago, we had people from Seattle come up for the World AIDS Day event.
Wow.
We just, here in Calgary, I feel that we just like to have fun. We are the city of Western hospitality. Nicole's been here. We just like to have fun. We'll show you a good time. We might get you drunk. And just make sure that you have fun. That's my thing, is have fun. If you're not having fun, you're not going to enjoy yourself. If you're not enjoying yourself, people will read it on your face, even if you have 4 pounds of makeup on and eyelashes. You will, and especially me, if I'm not having fun, people can see it from a mile away. So no matter what you do, have fun.
I unfortunately have a very readable face.
Unfortunately, yes.
Do you guys do anything during the Stampede in Calgary?
No, we don't. Ironically, if you've ever been to the Stampede, I don't know if you have, Nicole. I know Rachelle's been. It is a 9-day drinking fest, and it's hard. It's a lot. You go down to do a show at say 9 o'clock, and people are already 3 ways from Sunday smashed.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I want to come to the Stampede. I want to, you know, I'm an honorary Calgarian with my white hat. So, you know, I have to go to the Stampede, correct?
You do. Just when you come up here, pack a new liver. Or have a new liver on order.
Well, I experienced that last time, yes.
But that was mild. That was only 2 nights.
Oh, okay.
That was only 2 nights. If you come up for the Stampede and you do the entire 9, you're trying to figure out a way to wring out your liver while you're going to the airport.
Wow.
Ooh. Okay.
9 days?
We were there for 1 weekend.
We flew in and flew out. I was like, bye.
Well, you know, I've lived here my entire life, and I have never experienced anything like the Calgary Stampede. And that's including going down to Texas and going to the States Fair. That's everything. There's just something special about the Stampede.
I'm trying to think which, I'm going to age myself when I say the date, so I'm not going to. It was probably 2008 or so. We went down, across with my parents. We were there just for a couple of days. Unfortunately, it was the year that they had the massive chuck wagon accident where something like 9 horses unfortunately had to be put down as a result of the accident.
Yeah.
Not something I want to talk about.
Okay, Debbie Downer, why you bring us such a bad story?
But that being said, I think we haven't been back. So my memory of the Stampede is unfortunately that. But I think it's time to potentially go back again and experience what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
We'll come to the gay rodeo. I'll skip the Stampede.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Both are fun. But
So talking about ready and talking about traveling, thinking about the ICS, the court system. Now, obviously, there's a number, certainly in the U.S. The coronations are now in person. I know Chicago has theirs tonight. What are your travel plans? We'll start with you again, Nicole.
My next travel plan will be in Florida in the first of the year. So I guess I'll see you guys there.
Definitely.
Yes. And then San Diego, San Francisco. It's going to be a busy year. So, yeah.
And Michaela?
and mine is not as busy. My travel does not start until August, when I go out to the Waterfront Empire.
Okay.
And I do a whirlwind of Toronto and Portland.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
It's literally a week apart, I believe, or 2 weeks, something like that. It's very close together, and it's basically come home, drop, clean, pack, go.
Wow.
Drop
And
keys.
my
Yeah.
and my husband and my dogs look at me going, "But you just got home."
Bye.
So, Michaela, you're going to Toronto this year? I haven't decided if I'm going to go or not.
Well, you know, I've got a bunch
Can
of
we cancel? Can we shut her down?
Where's the cancel button?
Mute.
I'm debating.
Yeah.
So our travel plans starts with Florida. I think it's the 22nd of January is their coronation. So that'll be our first out of country coronation ever. We've actually never been outside. No, we have.
We've done Buffalo.
Buffalo is across the border. It doesn't really count. You drive there as opposed to flying
Yeah.
there. So our first one will be Florida in January. In February, it is Connecticut. Correct. And Prabhu Chan, their coronation in Connecticut. March would be Vancouver. We're planning to go. It's their 50th, although their 50th was last year, but they're celebrating it this coming year. April is it Kentucky in April?
No, Calgary.
Is Calgary and Rhode Island the same
Rhode
weekend?
Oh, okay. Calgary and Rhode Island, same weekend. We're gonna have to split with something.
Well, you can go to Rhode Island. No, actually, both halves are mine.
There will be a Toronto contingent at both of those. We'll figure out exactly who that's going to be. So that's
we'll send our heirs
or something. Yes. Yeah. So that was what, April?
April.
May is Kentucky, correct?
No,
Buffalo.
June.
Buffalo's in May.
Buffalo's in May. I keep on getting the months confused.
Kentucky's in June.
Maybe I should just say the names of the places. The months. We're doing Buffalo. We're doing Kentucky. And
we're basically going to try to do one a month, except for July and September.
Yeah.
July is Pride Month here, and we also do a summer trip somewhere usually. And then September is the month before our coronation, and that's busy.
Yeah.
Oh, you have it so lucky. I did, when I reigned, I went across Canada. That was my goal. I went across Canada. And at that time, Vancouver was, and still is, 3 weeks before my step down, or Calgary step down.
Yeah.
So I was still working on hair. I was still working on costumes. I was still working on jewelry. And I still had to go to Vancouver, do my last walk in Vancouver, and then come back and get everything ready for Calgary.
You said that was 3 weeks before yours?
3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a lot of time, especially.
Not a lot of time.
Right.
We were planning on doing most of our traveling, and at least to get to know people in the court system, the year we were ICPs, which was 2 years ago, and then COVID hit. So we never got to actually travel the court system more broadly, which is why we want to, do a number of courts, both in the U.S. and in Canada. Want to try and get to all the different regions and get to meet as many people as possible. So it's going to be a busy year for us, but we're looking forward to that.
Travel is so important when there's a balance of taking care of your in-town business and traveling. But I always encourage Ready Monarchs to travel as much as you can. because you're going to get to experience different regions, as you said. You're going to get to meet lots of new people and make relationships, and those people will then come to your ball and support your ball and increase your fundraising of your coronation. So it's not only fun, it is beneficial for your community to have all those people come and celebrate with you. So I think it's very important.
It is.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. Well, so Michaela sent in a recorded performance, so I think I'll cue that up. And then when we come back from the video, we'll do a quick little chat, and then we'll thank you we'll say our goodbyes to you, but just stay tuned and we'll bring you back on after Michaela's performance.
Cool.
All right.
Waiting for a dream, I was dancing with my baby in the summer rain. I can't even say it, nothing will change. Come dance with me, baby, in the summer rain. I remember the rain on the sand and his kisses, hotter than the sun and the wind. I was waiting for a dream, I was dancing with my baby in the summer rain. Every time I hear the thunder, every time I close the window, when this happens in sorrow, all the night is so mighty. I can feel that you are so close. I can feel you when the wind blows right through my heart. Oh, my love is you that I dream of. Oh, my love, since that day, somewhere in my heart, I'm always dancing with you in the summer rain. Every night and every day, I know you've gone anyway. Somewhere in my heart, I'm
make sure we're all off mute. There you go.
Of course.
Romance, thank you.
Body for days.
Yada, yada, yada.
Wow.
I try.
Amazing. I loved it.
Perfect.
Kayla. Thank you for that.
Of course.
Okay, so we wanted to thank you both for joining us. But before we say goodbye, do you want to maybe just tell us a little bit about what's coming up in your court? Anything you want to plug or tell our audience about? I think you mentioned something about a jewelry auction. Was that Nicole?
Yes, the Imperial Court of Kentucky is doing a Empress's Jewelry Auction. It's to benefit the Imperial Court of Florida. As everyone knows, Empress Regine Cox passed away this year, just a few months ago. And so we are their mother court. And so we have collected jewelry from empresses from across the international court system and jewelers, and even from Toronto, Morgan and Bitsy and several people. So that auction will go live a week from tomorrow night, and it will be on the Imperial Court of Kentucky's website, and we'll be sharing all of that. And all the proceeds go to the Imperial Court of Florida. So stay tuned for that. And make sure you write those letters for the stamp campaigns for the international court system. So, we've talked about that. I want to make sure everybody's getting those letters in. So thank you guys for having us here. This has been great.
Wonderful. Yes. Thank you. Michaela, anything you want to plug from your side?
Currently, we have an online 50/50, and it's for Canada only, I believe. So I'm sorry, Nicole. But running from November 15th to December 15th, and you can go to iscca.ca, and you can purchase your 50/50 tickets. The draw will be done on December 16th with the treasurer and myself doing the draw. And other than that, we've got the World AIDS Day fundraiser that is happening tonight that I'm going to be attending, and that's all that's happening in Calgary right now.
Wonderful. Welcome. Good luck for tonight. I hope it is a smashing and a smash out performance. Event. You're not performing, are you? No, you're not performing. You're just hosting, or you're hosting? Oh, perfect. Okay. Perfect.
I am.
Have a wonderful time. Break a leg, as they say in the show business.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
So wonderful. That was amazing to have them both join us for the show, and thank you very much to them for spending some time with us tonight. What is next on our agenda?
We have some messages from some of my halves. If you want to introduce them, and I'll
Absolutely.
get their...
So the first one is from your Canadian East half Empress, Shayla Shenanigans. She's Regent Empress. Well, she's Empress 19 and Regent Empress 21 of Iskans and all of Nova Scotia.
Yeah. And then following her video message, we have my American North half, Empress Savannah B. Childs, Kelly Devereaux, Empress 27 of the Imperial Court of Rhode Island.
Shayla Shenanigans, I'm current out-of-town half Empress to TICOT, and I'm also the Regent Empress of Halifax. I am Empress 19 and 21 of Halifax, Iskans, and all of Nova Scotia. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you all a wonderful and happy reign. It is my privilege to serve you all. I lived in Toronto from 2005 to 2011, and I lived right in the village. I remember my first ever event in Toronto that I went to in drag was Monday Night Star Search with Candace. And I did I Love Lucy that night, and I won with it, and I remember her giving me such wonderful courage and welcoming me in. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, I love the drag queens of Toronto. And from that, I have taken that, that power and that wanting to have a good change from seeing Candace do it. So thank you all so much. David, Rachelle, thank you so much for the honor. I can't wait to see you. And have yourself a wonderful reign. I'm always here to support. Thank you. I'm Shayla Shenanigans.
Good evening, friends, family, courtiers. I am Empress 27 of the Imperial Court of Rhode Island, Savannah B. Childs, Tree Kelly Devereaux, and I am thrilled to be sending this into the Half Show. Welcome. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all safe. I hope you're all doing well, whatever you're doing. To my Toronto family, I love you. I miss you. I wish I were there with you. instead of virtually, but for now, this works. So I was approached by Rachelle to do a video or a performance, and I wasn't really able to do a performance because I'm so busy right now with everything, but I am able to do this, and she sent me, a little questionnaire to fill out. I first of all wanted to say congratulations to David and Rachelle on stepping up as monarchs in Toronto. I have no doubt that you will be fantastic and you will do a wonderful job. I wanted to thank you personally for naming me as Half. Rachelle and I met a few years ago, recently, and we just took to each other. She and I have that very strong appreciation for vintage things and retro things, and I think she's going to rattle the stars during her reign. So I'm very excited and honored to be a part of it. Now, she sent me a bunch of questions that I have on my phone. So if I look down, I'm looking at my phone. And I would like to answer those right now because apparently she's going to ask the Halves on the live these questions. So I'm going to answer them for her on my phone. So what does it mean to me to be named a half emperor or empress to a court? I would have to say that it is, one, it's a massive honor, first of all, to be named a half. To me, to be a half means that if you need me, if you need anything during your reign and you ask, I am there. I know a lot of people that collect half titles like baseball hats, and that's not what it's about. It's about that person who, when you are in a dressing room and you have to rip something off, knowing that you have to put another gown on in 20 seconds, and you're fumbling with a shoe, and you feel someone zip the gown up, that's your half. That is who that should be. Whatever person says, you know what, I'm going to be available because I know that that person needs help because, one, I've done it. Two, I'm just a good person, and I like to help people. So it's an honor, and it's also a responsibility to me to be a half. That is what being a half is. It is someone that helps someone through a reign, that helps someone to celebrate their reign and enjoy their reign and get through their reign. I would say that that is what it means to me to be a half. So, next question. Have you or I been named a half before? And if so, when, where, etc. at all? I have been named a half many times around the circuit, and I like to think that that is a testament to my character and what I like to stand for and what I like to represent. People that know that they can rely on me. One of the most important words, the second most important word to me underneath family, is loyalty. So I have had the great opportunity to have been chosen many times to do that for people. Most recently in Toronto, obviously, but before that, also in DC to Empress Ginger Sparkles. And I have also, in Connecticut, I have been named half Empress 3 times, thanks to Electra. And her and I have a very, 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 very long and very deep friendship, relationship, sisterhood with each other. But yeah, I have been named half in quite a few places, actually. And it's been an honor, and it's been a privilege, and it's been exciting. And it builds those bonds between courts that might not even know who, Rhode Island is or who our court is. I remember being named half by Candace, my sweet Candace, God rest her soul, because her and I but really connected the weekend of her step up. And we were in hospitality talking and laughing and this and that. And she said, I really like you. And I said, thank you. I really like you. You're a sweetheart. And we had a little drink. Well, I had a little drink. And right before when we were about to go to bed, she said, I want to name you my American half. And it blew my mind. And she was someone that made sense, knowing her as I did years later. I'm like, of course she would be that way. Because Candace had this innate sensibility of being able to see people for what they were instantly. So I felt that that was a huge honor bestowed upon me. And that's when I also met Empress Nikki Chin, the gorgeous, the goddess Nikki Chin. You have to excuse me, I was cleaning before and I'm all sorts of stuffed up. The Zyrtec is doing nothing. But yeah, I've been half many places. And I wear those as badges of honor. I do. And I love all those empresses dearly. I do. So, moving on. As you travel the court system as a half to another court, how does it affect protocol at coronations? I don't really think it affects protocol per se, unless I'm walking in that court state, in which case what I'll do is I will add it to my protocol, like, Empress half to who's sitting on the dais. I've never traveled with all of my half titles before. That's crazy. I would have protocol longer than Tree. Tree, I love you. I love you so much. But when you read Tree's protocol, make sure you take a deep breath. But yeah, I've never walked with it in a protocol except when I'm visiting the court in which I have been named a half. So it doesn't really affect it for me. And I had a title that was like the longest title you've ever seen. And it has been pared down to like 4 words lately. So anything that keeps that to a minimum makes me happy. All right, let's see. During my reign, what were the types of activities that I and my court used to engage with your community and your members? We tried to do a lot of, we being myself and Emperor 27 Logan Taylor, who just adopted his son. I'm so excited. Him and his fiance, soon-to-be husband, Chris, just got the rights to this beautiful little baby. He's going to change his life. I'm so thrilled for all of them. What the hell was I just talking about? What was the question? Oh, yeah. So Logan and I, it was very important to us to make sure that the community was involved in a way that everyone had a seat at our table and everyone had a voice in the conversation. So we tried to make things accessible. We tried to make things a little more affordable for people, because I know that a lot of the things that we do take up a lot of money. And it's a little harder to do sometimes. But that was what was important to us, to make things accessible and to make people feel appreciated, valid, and that their voice was being heard, and it was also being recognized as part of what we were doing. So I would say that was something that we tried to do to engage the community a little bit more, because sometimes they think that we're a little bit elitist, that we're a little bit weird. Like we're like a Renaissance fair with like really great jewelry. But I think that's what, if I had to answer that question, I would say that that's what it was, that we tried to bring the court back to the people and serve the people. What are my plans for attending coronations in 2022? I have a few on the books. With the new job that I have, it's very hard. I also don't want to just take off in the middle of a weekend, because I'm working in real estate right now, which is amazing. But a lot of things happen on the weekends that you kind of might need to be readily available for. So I have to be very careful how I navigate those waters. But there are a few that are on the books. I'm trying to get to San Diego. I would love to get to San Diego. Connecticut will be a definite. Connecticut is my favorite ball of all time. It always will be. Let's see. I might go to Rhode Island. New York. I'll be in New York. I would love to go to Buffalo again. I love my Buffalo family. And it's a good time. Even if you don't drink, it's a good time. I would love to go. Well, Toronto is obviously on that list. I'm going to try to do Lauderdale too in January, because it's kind of around my birthday. So I'll do it as sort of a birthday present to myself, I think, perhaps. But yeah, there's a few things on the docket lined up for travel, and we'll see where I end up. Hopefully I'll see some of you there. Let's see. Do I want to plug any upcoming events in my court or the ICS? There are so many things happening. There are so many things happening. Let's see. Do I want to plug anything? Oh, tonight I have the great honor of judging a best bulge contest at a gray sweatpants themed event, which I'm very excited for. But I think that's about it. The events that we would have are all over Facebook. People are so good at social media and keeping up with that and making sure that everything is posted from their court. So just look out on our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Yeah. Let's see. And I think that was it. That's all I have in the message. So I wish I were there with you all. David and Rachelle, I hope you have a great night raising money for your beneficiaries. I wish I were there to walk down, Church Street, have those late night pierogies that were amazing the last time I was there. And actually, Toronto was second to last ball before COVID. It was Toronto for me, and then Connecticut, and then the world ended, and everything ended with it. Sadly, I didn't have a step down. Logan didn't have a step down, but we find comfort in knowing that we weren't the only ones. We're the only ones in Rhode Island, but we're not the only ones, period. There's 100+ monarchs out there who didn't have a step down as well. And I think what's important to remember about that is that it's never about a ball. It's never about that moment. It's about the entire year. And also the fact that, we're still here when some people aren't. So appreciate that. Love each other. Happy holidays. I love you, my Toronto family. I love David. I love you, Rachelle. Please have fun tonight. Raise tons of money. And give everyone a hug for me, especially that Michelle DeBarry. Give her a hug. I love that crazy lady. So here in Massachusetts, close to Rhode Island, signing off, I am Empress 27, Savannah B. Childs, Tree, Kelly, Devereaux. Wow.
Wow.
That
was a mouthful.
That was a lovely message.
Yeah, that was a wonderful message. I've had the pleasure of getting to know Savannah. She said she loves you. She likes me. She loves you.
She said love you. She said she loves me.
But an amazing human being, and wonderful to have her as part of our Imperial family. And Savannah, we will definitely give Michelle a hug for you on Tuesday night when it's her 90th birthday party. On the topic of our charities, let me just reiterate them before we bring in our next guests. The charities for Reign 35 is the People with AIDS Foundation, PWA Food Bank. They raise money to have a food program for people that have to sort of choose between medication or food sometimes. And really is to provide food for those people. So that's the first charity. We've been supporting PWA for almost the entire, if not the entire duration of TICOT, 37 years.
Side note, Toronto's PWA and the Imperial Court of Toronto, we were called the Monarch Society at the time, both started at the same time. And their words, not ours, there were some years that if it wasn't for the Imperial Court of Toronto, the PWA Toronto chapter would have collapsed. So we're very proud of our joint history. Yeah,
absolutely. So 35 years of being essentially the charity, with the primary charity for TICOT, and again for this year. And the second charity is Rainbow Railroad. I have to say that one slowly, as I said earlier. An organization that helps people at risk, LGBTQ people at risk in countries in the world where it is a death sentence to be gay or to be queer. They actually help bring people out of those countries and relocate them to safe countries in the world. You started in Canada, but now the European Union and a number of other progressive parts of the world is part of the program as well. So that's our second charity for this year. If you wanted to donate tonight, as a Canadian, you can just send a transfer, an e-transfer to treasure@ticot.ca. The information is at the bottom. And if you are not in Canada, you can do it via PayPal by going to our website, www.ticot.ca, where you can do an online donation. There's a donate button on the main screen. Also want to do a quick shout out just to a couple of people that have joined us. John Carrillo was here a little earlier. I hope he's still here. Hi, John. John's an amazing person. We met him at Coronation, spent a lot of time with both him and Nicole, and was
and Terry Seide.
And Terry Seide, of course, and John Ribson and a number of others, but certainly John Carrillo was a lot of fun to hang around with. So hi, John. Good to see you.
Lily Devine, our current reigning Miss Trillium, and Tanya King, my ICP, which she was at she was on the last show we had. She was a great savior. Our computer program crashed on us, and she was the only one left on the screen and was able to close the show off for us. She did an amazing job. And if you are,
that doesn't happen again this time.
Hope it doesn't happen tonight. If you are coming out to our investiture, which is next weekend at Sambuca's Restaurant, Tanya King will be there live and in performance, and you'll all get to see what an amazing person she is and what an amazing performer she is. She is phenomenal, and I'm so excited for you all to meet her live.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, Jan, thank you for joining in and joining our show. We missed you at Coronation. It's been a while since we've seen you. Hopefully, you'll be able to make it out to the next Coronation or some one of our events. I hope you're well, and we miss you.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay. So, shall we bring in some of my people? We spent the first half of the show. We spent the first half of the show talking about the empresses, the half empresses. Now I'd like to bring in my in-town half emperor, Emperor Jason.